Good evening, g'day or kia ora, actually more to be exact, as we do this especially for our Kiwi whānau over the pond there. Welcome to the call, but of course, people from all over the world jump on this. So from wherever you're tuning in, thank you and welcome. I'm going to jump into introducing our very, very special guest here this evening. This gentleman has, for the past over 35 years, been breaking records in the field of sales and network marketing. And he has built organizations that have numbered in the tens of thousands. He's an entrepreneur, a public speaker, a business coach, an adventurer, a father of eight, and his entire life has been a search for purpose with a determination to better people's lives and to be a force for good in the world. He's also a philanthropist. He's building family homes in Africa. And the founder of our organization was so taken by this that he's also decided to go over there and build homes as well. The gentleman you're going to hear from this evening was naming that family home in the name of the founder of this company you're going to hear from this evening. But the founder of the company is so taken by this gentleman, not just by his acts of goodwill, he's going to be naming the houses over there after this gentleman that you're going to hear from this evening. He's very highly commended and awarded leader within this organization of ours. And he is heading the fastest growing team in the world within this organization. And I'm very fortunate not just to have him on the call this evening, and I believe by the end of it, you will realize that you have been fortunate too. But also I'm very fortunate to have this gentleman as my mentor, as my guide, and also as a good mate. So his name is Malcolm Sword. He's a ambassador triple diamond with the organization. Thank you very much for being here, Sword Master. I appreciate you very much. I'm going to hand it over to you.
My pleasure. Thank you, Stevie. It's a tough act to follow that one. But thank you for the introduction. And good evening, everyone in New Zealand. And I think we've got a few Aussies on the call, so good evening. And for those that weren't able to make the call, this is going to be recorded this evening. So generally, the presentation will go for about 40 minutes, something like that. So just to give you an idea of the time that it normally takes, sometimes it goes a little bit longer, but I'm going to try and keep it within the 40-minute time frame this evening. Before I start this evening, what I thought I'd do just to mix it up a little bit is I wanted to share with you some information that there's a number of people that normally come to a webinar like this. Some of you are already involved in this opportunity. Some of you are maybe looking at the opportunity, and some might be building the business very quickly right now. So there's going to be different groups of people that have come to the webinar. And there's a good friend of mine in America, Dr. David Silverman. And if you go to YouTube, he's got a very good short video. It runs for 5 or 6 minutes called 6 Reasons by Dr. David Silverman. And I thought I'd just begin there, that there are generally 6 reasons why people look at this breakthrough called redox signaling molecules. And those 6 reasons are, and you might have a combination of these reasons, by the way, as I did when I engaged with ASEA 4 years ago. The first reason is you may have a health challenge, you may have a health issue, and you are looking at this technology simply for that. You're simply looking to improve your health, have a breakthrough, looking at this technology. So it might just be for health reasons. The second reason is you might have a loved one, a close friend, family member that's really struggling with a major health challenge. And in part, that was one of the reasons that I looked at this in the first place a number of years ago. A very close friend of mine, Danny Doyle, was very unwell. And so it might be for that reason. The third one is for vanity reasons, for the ability of this technology, this product to help you look younger, longer, and to reduce wrinkles. And so many of us want to look younger and look a little bit better. So the third reason is for vanity reasons. And I'll talk about that through the presentation. The fourth one is for athletic performance benefits. And you may or may not be an athlete, but many of us are looking for, increased energy levels, sustainable increased energy levels. Number 5 is, I have to be careful how I say this, but being proactive about your health. In other words, doing something in advance so that, you can protect your health, if I can put it that way. So being proactive with your health. And the 6th one is the opportunity. Always with a breakthrough in history, every time there's a breakthrough comes huge opportunity. And it is with this technology. These products, this company I'm going to share with you, very heavily patented. In fact, there's over 49 patents rolling forward over 20 years. And nobody else in the world produces these redox molecules. So there was a couple of the reasons that I engaged with this company. The last one especially was the opportunity, being able to take a technology like this to the world that's protected, no competitor in this space. This is not another juice, it's not another vitamin. It's a completely new category of wellness product. And so let me just start journeying through the presentation. So if we just go to the next page, please, Stevie. So when I first heard this, it would be better to say it's the greatest scientific and health breakthrough, wellness breakthrough of our time. And when I first heard that a number of years ago, it was it kind of it not took me by surprise, but I thought, well, that's a pretty big statement. But having been involved with this company now for 4 years, I absolutely believe that to be true. A gentleman by the name of Dr. Gary Samuelson, you could Google him, the atomic medical physicist who stabilized this technology, said he believes this may be the most significant wellness or health breakthrough, not for the last 100 years, but for the next 100 years. So it is a very significant wellness health breakthrough. And you and I have the opportunity of being able to deliver this to the world. Thanks, Stevie. So the way that we take this to the world is person to person. It's built that way. It's built by word of mouth, and it really needs to be built that way. And it really needed to be taken to the world for lots of reasons. Number one, because it needs explanation at different levels. It needs to be explained to people. You can't sit this technology on a shelf. Nobody knows what it is. Nobody knows what redox molecules are yet, although more and more people are finding out about this technology. But in the markets that we currently operate in, which is 34 countries now around the world, less than 1% of the population still has even heard of this technology. And we're doing the best we can to change that, to move this technology into the world. This is the best way of moving a product. If you look at the statistics, this is the number one method of moving a product to world. Number two, by the way, is SEO, search engine optimization. But by far and away, this is the best way of being able to recommend this technology to other people. Thanks, Stevie. So the company is called ASEA. The technology is called redox signaling molecules. And not only does ASEA, it says here, ASEA is the global leader in redox signaling-based health and anti-aging technologies. It's the only company. There is no competitor. There is nobody else. This was 17 years in the making. There's a very good short video you can watch called The Genesis of ASEA, and it'll show you the progression of how the current owner, Vertus Norton, came to acquire the technology. It's very interesting how that came about. I won't go into it all now. You can watch that little video, but very interesting how it all came about. And it came off the back of, in 1998, without going to all the history, in 1998, 3 Italian scientists won a double Nobel Prize for understanding the significance of redox molecules, redox signaling molecules in the human body. Prior to 1998, the thought was it was just a waste out of the cells and served no purpose. And in 1998, these 3 Italian scientists discovered just how significant and foundational to life these redox signaling molecules are. And of course, then the race was on to try and produce these molecules outside of the human body. And ASEA is the company that's done that, very heavily patented. 5 people in the world know how to produce these redox signaling molecules. It is a US-based biotech company. There's 1 facility in the world where these products, redox molecules are made. They will never outsource it, and very easily scalable. The facility that they have can be scaled to 1 billion within a very short period of time, and they own the block of land next door, so we can triple that production very fast as well. Thanks, Stevie. This is the gentleman that I was referring to, Vertus Norton. He remains one of the most incredible human beings I've met in my life. His background, interestingly, was not from this industry. His background, he had been the senior strategist for Kraft Foods. Most of you probably know of Kraft. That most of you would know of Kraft by probably associate Kraft with cheese. That it was a much bigger company. They did a lot more than just cheese. But he worked his way up to the number 2 position. It was a senior strategist with Kraft. he retired to Park City. This is back in about 2004, 2005, something like that. And I think his wife had hoped he'd retired, but he was then invited to sit on the board of a biotech company that was working on producing these redox signaling molecules. And the video, the genesis, will kind of fill in some of those blanks. But Virtus ended up acquiring the technology prior to it being stabilized. It was after he actually bought the technology that Dr. Gary Samuelson was able to stabilize these molecules. And of course, the gentleman on the right is his son. Virtus is now retired. He stepped down. He's still active, sits on the board, still guides the company. He's a very clever businessman and one of the most genuine human beings, special people I've ever met in my whole life. And there's an old saying, fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. Tyler Norton, his son, is of the same ilk, an incredible human being as well. Thank you, Stevie. So based on many years of research, in fact, it was from 1998 that the redox signaling molecules finally stabilized around 2007, 2008, and then ASEA came to the market around 2009, 2010. It's now a 10-year-old company, but based on many years of research before the products were launched into the market, which is here 2010. Thanks, Stevie. Significant growth every year, financially strong and profitable, and a couple of things that are important right now. So the figures we've got here, sales exceeded 100 million in 2017, 2018 exceeded 130 million US dollars, and in 2018 did 130 million. 2019 we came in at 178 million US dollars. So the last 2 years we've been growing at over 50% a year. For those of you that study business, you'll have heard of something called the J curve. We are now well on that J curve, and so very exciting time ahead. We'll reach over $1 billion in 5 years. Now that's a figure that some of us have created. The company's a little more conservative than that. They're saying that by 2025 we'll do $500 million. But a lot of us believe with the growth in Asia that we're seeing, that we could do $1 billion, let's say within 5 to 7 years, in that range. But significantly, we're at 178 million. We'd take it to $1 billion. There's the opportunity. There's the potential, and it'll go way past $1 billion in my understanding, my belief. So ASEA is perfectly positioned ahead of the growth that will come in the next 3 years in these three very big markets: the health markets, wellness markets, and anti-aging markets. Very big markets. Thanks, Stevie. So here's the, on the left-hand side, there's two parts to this. If you just pop up the other side of the screen too, Stevie. Two parts. On the left-hand side, you've got the management. And again, I know most of these people personally now over the last 4 years. Incredible group of people. And it's just an absolute privilege to be in business with these gentlemen. And on the right-hand side, you see the Science Medical Advisory Board. I can't see his photo, but that somewhere there will be Dr. David Silverman. And a lot of people from the medical backgrounds. Dr. Maureen Hayes was a general practitioner. Dr. Foster Malmed, chiropractic background. Carl Smith, chiropractic background. Dr. David Silverman was a podiatric surgeon. Many of these people have sold their businesses, their traditional medical businesses, to help us to take this technology to the world. And so that's the photo. And the board changes or bring on new people all the time. So it does change from time to time. Thank you, Stevie. So we're open now in 34 countries. It might say 33. Just click on the next one, Steve. I think it might say 33. It's either 33, 34 country. The latest market we've opened in was Malaysia. We opened Malaysia in around August, September 2019. And you can see the growth there. We can see that the foundational years as the company grew in those early stages. And you can see the trajectory that we're on now. That's happening for a number of reasons. Number one, we are opening in more markets. We started into the Asian markets about 2 years ago, and this will be the next few years, in my opinion, we'll see some of the fastest growth in the world in the Asian countries. We're just at the very early stages of those, by the way, so please don't think you've missed the boat. We're still very early into the market with this technology. Thanks, Stevie. So we're in three of the biggest industries in the world. So we're in the wellness industry. If you just click on the next screen, we'll see the intersection of the three. big industries, over $4 trillion worth of business a year. So these are the markets we operate in: the health and wellness, which is very topical right now, of course, and beauty and anti-aging, and of course the athletic performance. Interestingly, the beauty and anti-aging is very, very big in the Asian countries, and the Asian people generally love to look younger, and these products have no toxicity. The key with these products is completely toxic-free, no toxins. Can't be allergic to them because these molecules are already in your body. They are native to the human body. So significant growth every year. And we have some of the most unique and advanced products in these industries. Again, no competitor. There's nobody else that makes these redox signaling molecules, and there won't be for the next 20 years, which was one of the key reasons that I was so excited 4 years ago when I began my journey to develop the ASEA organizations that I've been growing for the last few years. Thanks, Stevie. So the products do things that no other products can do because they're the only products in the world with these redox signaling molecules. So again, very protected space, and very exciting to be in this business at this time. Thank you. They say a picture paints 1,000 words. I'll just focus, if I may, on this lady on the left-hand side of the screen. Her name is Reidun Bone. She's a Norwegian naturopath, and she's been a naturopath for probably about 45, 47 years now. I know this lady very well. And many years ago, probably going back 7 years, maybe 8 years ago now, a friend of hers from America sent her a tube of the redox molecules in a gel form, and asked her to try it on herself. And which she did, Reidun did. And after a few weeks, in fact, it was after 3 weeks, she phoned a friend in America and she said, look, I just can't see this is really doing anything for me. I don't think it's helping. And fortunately, her friend had asked her, she said, before you start using it, take a photo before you start using it. And so she said to Reidun, did you take a photo before you started using the Renew 28? She said, yes, I did. She said, well, go and get that. And that photo was the top left-hand side of the screen. And the bottom photo was 3 weeks later on the bottom left-hand side of the screen. You can see there's a substantial difference between the top photo and the left photo. Reidun, as a result of that, and subsequent to that, has gone on to build a very, very large organization in Scandinavia, and where she lives in Norway as well. And I was with Reidun in December in Hawaii, and I've actually got photos. Those photos were taken probably 7 or 8 years ago. I've got current photos when I was in Hawaii at a convention where she was there as well. And I said, do you mind if I take a photo of your neck? So her neck is even better than that now, and it's 7 or 8 years down the track. So the benefits from this technology keep working. And of course, you can see other before and after photos with different skin challenges. And it was actually one of the reasons that I went to look at this, because I had a skin challenge, which was an autoimmune problem that I had for many years, and which I actually contracted after a bad industrial accident, which I had in New Zealand when I was a younger man. Thank you, Stevie. So this is a picture of the skincare range. The 2 products on the right contain redox molecules. There are 3 products that the company produces right now. I can tell you that they are working on some other products that might contain redox. But there's 3 right now that contain redox molecules. One is a drink, a beverage, which was their marquee product, was the first product. The second product was the gel, which is about 3 to 4 times more concentrated than the liquid and the beverage. And then the little blue tube, dark blue tube, is a serum, and it's even more concentrated. And those 3 products contain redox molecules. The other 2 products on the left-hand side of the screen do not. The one on the left is a toner, and the one in the pale blue bottle is a moisturizer. They do not contain redox signaling molecules, but they're part of a skincare range. And these were brought to market at the request of many of ASEA's associates around the world back in 2016, when the associates asked if they could produce a complete skincare range, so they could package them together. So this is that skincare range. Thank you, Stevie. So this is as I mentioned before, this is the marquee product. This was the first product that was stabilized back in 2007, 2008, and then came to market in 2010. It is the marquee product. It is the biggest selling product. It's a beverage, it's a liquid. And then the other products came after this product was stabilized. Thanks, Stevie. So as I mentioned before, improves athletic performance. We have a number of world-class athletes using the product. The significance of that is it's not a drug. You can't be tested against it. You can't overdose on it. You can't take too much of it. So it has no toxicity. So no problems with taking this before an event or after an event. No problems at all. So cellular health products, the two we just showed you there, one works on the inside out, one works on the outside in. So redox molecules are vital to life and to health, naturally produced inside every cell. So as I mentioned before, this technology is native. Oftentimes people ask me, is it like this or is it like that? And I said, look, it's not like anything. This is a new area of wellness science. There's products that people take, wellness products, people take synthetic based that are made synthetically. Then there are those that are made in nature, goji juice, acai juice, that kind of thing. But this is a new category. This is native. So the redox molecules that ASEA produces are identical to the redox molecules that you and I have in our bodies. The other thing they do is detect cell damage, so they can be repaired or replaced. Increases cells' production of glutathione, which is the most powerful antioxidant that protects against cell damage and oxidative stress. And fundamental for the immune system, protecting against harmful bacteria, viruses, and infection. And I'll just read that one again. Fundamental for the immune system, protecting against harmful bacteria, viruses, and infection. It's very, very significant, that last statement, very significant. Sometimes people say to me, well, if I've got these molecules in my body now, why do I need to ingest other redox molecules? Why do I need to take this product if I've already got them? And the answer is that we maximize the production of these molecules, these redox molecules at puberty. When you were 12, 13, 14, we maximize the production. And it's a reason why if a 10-year-old or 12-year-old falls over and grazes themselves or cuts themselves, they recover quickly, their energy levels recover very quickly. But as we age, we drop the production of these redox molecules. In fact, we drop production about 1% a year, about 10% a decade. So at my age, I would naturally be producing, let's say around 20% of what I was producing when I was 12, 13, 14 years of age. But of course I can top up now every single day, which is why my kids reckon I carry on like a 10-year-old sometimes. But that's the idea of being able to top up. When people ask, why do I take them? And that's the point, is that we stop producing as much as we age. Thanks, Stevie. So this is, I'm told, the fastest growing area of medical science, wellness science in the world right now. There's over 32,000 peer-reviewed articles, 1,500 books have been published on redox signaling molecules. And look, I've been with this company now 4 years, and I'm sensitive to the market. I can tell you we are making an impression now. People are starting to hear about this technology, especially in the markets where we have been around for a while. Like in Australia now, we've been here a little over 4 years. And I'm increasingly speaking to people who say, I think I've heard about that, or I think I've heard something about that. They haven't heard all about it, but they've certainly heard of it from a lot more people today than when I began 4 years ago. Thanks, Stevie. And so for decades, scientists have tried to produce molecules. And again, if you go back to the genesis of ASEA, you'll get a bit of a story as to how long that took to unfold. And it was deemed impossible when Virtus acquired the technology, albeit not in a stable format. He started calling many of the top scientists around America, and every single one of them said to him, Virtus, you're wasting your time. You will never stabilize this. You will never be able to stabilize these redox molecules. And the reason they told him that, in layman's terms, is that it would be like, I remember there was a scientist from Adelaide described it this way. He said, it's like taking an empty bottle of water, pouring in 50% boiling water and 50% cold water, and they don't mix. And you would say, well, that's absolutely impossible, which is exactly what they told Virtus. They said, you will never stabilize these redox molecules. but it was as a result of his meeting with Dr. Gary Samuelson. It was Dr. Gary Samuelson, who I'll speak about in just a minute, who managed to stabilize these redox molecules. Thank you, Stevie. So after 2 decades and millions of research, I'm told it was about $18 million worth of R&D before the product was fully stabilized. ASEA scientists managed to produce stabilized redox molecules in perfect balance, exactly as found in healthy cells. Thank you, Stevie. So they patented the production process, and therefore is the only company in the world with products containing these vital molecules. I mean, from a commercial point of view, that is incredible to have this opportunity at this time with this incredible technology that nobody else has an opportunity to acquire. You can't buy this anywhere else, other than there's only one company in the world that is producing these redox signaling molecules. Thanks, Stevie. So this is on the screen at the moment. You're seeing the production facility. This is in Utah. This is in Pleasant Grove, Utah. And when I went over there to meet with the owners and the scientists back in late 2014, we actually had a tour of the facility, and it's incredible. This facility, as I mentioned before, can scale it very quickly. This plant here that's in existence can scale to $1 billion worth of turnover. As I mentioned earlier, we're at 178 last year, but we can scale that to $1 billion very quickly. So there's a company, the independent laboratory called Bioagilytics. Sometimes people say, well, how do I know these are bioactive stabilized redox signaling molecules? This company, Bioagilytics, is an independent laboratory, and they actually work for 20 of the top 25 pharmaceutical companies in the world. And they test every 4th batch that ASEA produces and certify that they are full of these stabilized redox signaling molecules. And look, they just would not put their name on every single bottle of ASEA's product if they did not, in fact, contain fully stabilized redox signaling molecules. Thanks, Stevie. So this is atomic medical physicist, Dr. Gary Samuelson, incredible human being, and just an incredible man. On the next, if you could just put the next part up. This is a book that he's written. It's actually quite readable. There's a lot of information that I've tried to read on redox molecules, but it's kind of way above my pay grade. But this book is a readable book, and one of the statements he makes in this book is the redox signaling process is remarkable because it is the process that allows us to regenerate tissue and maintain our normal function and capacities. This technology has the potential to spearhead the greatest advances in health we have ever seen. Very significant statement. And neither Dr. Gary Samuelson nor Verdis Norton are the kind of men who are prone to misspeak themselves. They're both very humble human beings. This man, in my opinion, is a genius, as many of us feel. So he was the man that eventually stabilized these bioactive redox signaling molecules. Thanks, Stevie. I forget the name of this gentleman. I think his name is Dr. Moran. And you can see what he did. He wanted to see whether this would help. And so we call him the half-face man. So he used the redox molecules on the right-hand side of his face only for 30 days and left-hand side of the screen. And you can clearly see the difference between left and right. You can also see a difference, I think, in the level of his spectacles. Almost looks like he's got Bell's palsy down one side. Well, after a month, his wife said to him, "You look ridiculous. start using the gel on your whole face." So he doesn't do this anymore. So he now uses the gel on his. Oh, but he was making a point, and you can see very simply exactly the difference that it's made in a 30-day period. Thank you, Stevie. Again, this gentleman just used this was on the Renew 28, twice a day for 3 days, then once a day for 3 days. The protocols on this product from the 10 years now that the company's been operating for, I've seen some people, minority, I would say 2 to 5% of people, they see a result with this technology in a matter of days. And I'm not just talking about the gel, I'm talking about with the supplement as well, very, very quickly. But those people are in the minority. The protocol is that 30% of people will see a benefit in 30 days. 60% in 60 days and 90% in 90 days. And some it takes longer. in my own case, my dear old auntie, who's now 88, she had a major health issue she had been dealing with for 27, 28 years. And it took 4.5 months before she saw a significant breakthrough with her health. But some people do see a breakthrough very quickly, as this man has, twice a day for 3 days, once a day for 3 days. Not everybody's going to do that. It takes a little bit longer for most of us. Thanks, Stevie. Improving the quality of your life. So you can see clearly with this young man, would change his, his self-confidence. You can see clearly the difference in his, how he must feel about himself between those two photos. Thanks, Stevie. I won't mention the condition, but this was the condition that I had. I had this skin problem. It was an autoimmune problem for 43 years. And this was one of the reasons I looked at this technology back in late 2014. It was really for health reasons. I, at that stage, was not looking for business reasons. I really went initially just for the health reasons. And this was the same condition that I was dealing with. It's a skin problem, very stubborn skin problem. Thanks, Stevie. This is interesting. You can see I guess they're blemishes on this lady's face. But if you just look underneath the little red square, just look on the left-hand side, the photo of the left-hand side and the photo of the right-hand side, you can see the difference in the elasticity of her neck. Often people miss that because they're just looking at the contained space inside the red box and inside the little red square, but you clearly see the difference also in her neck elasticity. Thanks, Stevie. These are two very significant reports. On the left-hand side, this is an American US-based company called Stevens and Associates, and they did a clinical 4-week study on the Renew 28, which is this product here. And these are some of the statistics. The most significant one there is the 50% increase in blood flow. And so that was a very significant study on the Renew 28. The one on the right-hand side was on the serum. And again, the serum is the concentrated version of the Renew 28. So it is the most concentrated redox product that ASEA produces. And if you could just mute everybody, Stevie. So thank you, that's better. On the right-hand side, this is a German company called Dermatest. And again, look at the results from those markers. 100% improvement in fine lines, 95% skin smoothness, 85% improvement in radiance, and 92% photo aging. This is a German company. Dermatest is a German company. And they will not give a 5-star rating to any product if one of the recipients has an adverse effect with the product. And yet they gave the serum a 5-star rating. And you can see here after 4 weeks, 90% of the trial participants said they wanted to purchase the product. Very significant result. Thank you, Stevie. Interesting with the gel, of course, and from the Stevens and Associates and the Dermatest research, it's easier to benchmark the results on outside of the body. It's a little bit more difficult when it's inside of the body. But it's the same technology. Redox molecules are redox molecules, and so the redox this beverage works on the inside out. Of course, the gel works on the outside in. ASEA replenishes the very redox molecules that improve cell renewal and help every system of our body to function optimally and at every age. People report less fatigue, better sleep, improved health, improved mood, and less discomfort. How are we doing for time? So for athletes, increased athlete performance, endurance, strength, recovery, mental stamina. Just for your own interest, if you Google a gentleman called James Lawrence, he's known as the Iron Cowboy, an American man. In 2015, James Lawrence completed 50 Ironman events in 50 days in 50 states. And he drank 3 bottles a day that's 3 liters a day of the redox. So it could help him back. It wasn't the only thing he took, but he took that to help him go again for the next day. So you can Google him, the Iron Cowboy, they call. So I don't know if anybody will ever do that feat again ever, but a significant feat. Thanks, Stevie. So here's some more of the athletes. You might want to write that site down, athletes.aseaglobal.com. Get some more information on the number of different athletes that are using this technology. Thank you, Stevie. Now, this is interesting. This is a report. This was from a US online paper called the Huffington Post. And this was produced around June of 2016. Here are 5 of the craziest game-changing technologies that are starting to take off in 2016. Pay attention. Some of these will shape our lives in the coming years. Number 4, you can see, is redox signaling technology. Redox signaling molecules, I just want to remind you again, redox signaling molecules are only available from one company on planet Earth, and that is ASEA. Redox signaling molecules have been around for eons, but it isn't until recently that we've learned about their central importance in our health on a cellular level. New technology, ASEA, is emerging that inserts healthy redox signaling molecules into your body, helping to repair and replenish your aging cells. Since we're made up entirely of cells, every organ in the body can potentially benefit from this new technology. A very significant article. Again, that was June 2016. Thanks, Stevie. Okay, let's go into the little bit of the business plan. As I mentioned, when I first looked at this, the business opportunity was not really on my radar. I looked at this for health reasons, and also for health reasons of a very close friend of mine who was seriously ill. Subsequent to that, ASEA launched into Australia 2016, February 2016, and it was at that time that I started to take this to the world and started building my ASEA organisation, ASEA business. And it allows you to generate serious income, introducing contacts to ASEA without changing your schedule. Serious income means different things to different people, of course. Some people, serious income in some countries is $1,000 a month. And in other countries, serious income represents, $250,000 a month. But a serious income is an income that will allow you to be able to change your circumstances. The real key, I think, when you look at a business like this, if I was sitting down with you one-on-one, the question I would ask you is, tell me about the life that you would love to live if you could, the lifestyle you'd like to have, and the standard of living that you'd like to have, and the income that you'd like to have, and the freedoms that you'd like to have. And then doing what you're currently doing, whatever that may be, is that going to give you that lifestyle? Is that going to give you that life that you want? And if you say, well, the answer is no, then here is an opportunity that if you work it properly, can give you the most incredible lifestyle. It has done for me, and it has done for many, many people around the world now on an increasing basis. So we really look for people that are in that zone. They're looking to change something in their life, as I was a few years ago when I began my journey with ASEA. Thank you, Stevie. So you make referrals exactly as you would do as a restaurant. It's a people business. It's just about reaching out to people. With our model, you get paid when people use the product. We don't annoy people. It's a right way to do this. Speak to the person that introduced you here. There's a right way to build. There's a correct way. Let me say a polite way, a courteous way of being able to build a business like this. And when done properly, it works very, very well. Thank you, Steve. And of course, ultimately, a business like this is set to create residual income. I said to somebody the other day, if you walk down in Brisbane, I live in Brisbane, if you walk down the Queen Street Mall and asked 100 people and said, would you like to have $200,000 a year of passive income, residual income? Well, I don't doubt that everybody would say yes to that. Pretty much everybody wants to create a residual income. Then it's really a question of, well, are you prepared to put the effort in to make that happen? And please understand, it's a process. Oftentimes people say to me, I'd really like to have a residual income, by the end of April 2020. I said, well, but it's a process. Building a business like this is a process. It takes some effort. That effort, generally, if people are starting on a part-time basis, and most of us start that way, is generally around 2 to 3 hours per day, something like that. But be consistent with it. Thank you, Stevie. So this is how let's just go through this. This is how we create organizations. It's simply people communicating with people. When I'm asked exactly what I do, I tell people I create distribution channels for a US biotech company delivering a state-of-the-art, unique wellness technology around the world. And I create these distribution channels and share with people how to build these distribution channels. Most of what I do when I'm building my organization is educate and communicate. I'm not here to sell. I don't try and sell people into this. This is not a business about sales. This is really about educating people on the benefits of building a business like this, or on the benefits of the product, understanding the significance of the product. But most of what I do is educate and communicate. If you look at our industry and you said, where are the most number of people that have done well in our industry, it's from teachers. So most of what we do is teach and educate in a business like this. Number two, by the way, is doctors, people from medical background. So those are the two professions. Of course, you don't have to be from those professions. I wasn't from either of those professions. But most of what we do is communicate and educate people and create these distribution channels around the world. Thanks, Stevie. So this is exactly, if you just move it on through, Stevie, this is exactly how it works. I've introduced people around the world. In 4 years now, I've introduced personally about 110 people. And from those 110 people, those people have introduced people into other countries. I have organizations now in all of the 35 countries around the world. But I started my business here in Brisbane. I started from my kitchen bench. I built it from home. And, I started traveling, once the organizations were growing around the world, but that was by my choice. But the core of my whole organizations, I started from home. I built it with my phone. I learned how to use Zoom. You can tell I'm still not very good at it. But literally you can build global distribution channels from the privacy of your own home. And it's an incredible opportunity. And everybody knows somebody in a different town, a different village, a different street, different city, a different country. We're part of a global community now. And as you can see, you can build distribution channels in America, in Europe, and also into the Asian regions. And I personally think this sector, the sector that we're in, or most of us on this call, in Asia, Australia, New Zealand, Australasia, this will be the biggest market for this technology on the planet. Because when I say that, some of the Americans take me on, but I really believe, because in this area, the Asian community, half the world's population, more than half the world's population. So we're sitting on the best place, I believe, in the world to be delivering this technology to the markets. Thanks, Stevie. So what you do is completely up to you. Again, the 6 reasons that you might be here looking at this opportunity. The business is designed to do part-time around your existing schedule. This is exactly how I started a few years ago. I was talking with or listening to Dr. David Silverman, and his initial 3.5 years were part-time. He still had his medical practice. He was still working as a surgeon, and he was building his ASEA business part-time. Everybody's got a different way. You kind of work this around your schedule. Needless to say, the more time you put into the business, the faster it's going to grow. That's kind of a statement of the obvious, I guess. But 10 to 15 hours a week part-time in the early stages to get you going. Now, once your income is greater than the income that you're earning from ASEA from your job, then you've got a choice to make. You can back yourself to win and continue. That's completely up to you as to what you do with the business. Some people on the call, you're here because you'd like to make an extra $500 a month, and others of you, of course, are looking for significantly more than that, and that's fine. Thank you, Stevie. So the cost of starting, the $60 is in Australian dollars. It's going to be around that in New Zealand as well. Lots of different packages that you can come on when you open your account, when you start your journey. Let me just say this about that. I won't go into all of those, but you get one shot at those packages. So when you look at these enrollment packs, I can't go back in now as an associate of 4 years. I can't go back in and buy those much as I'd like to, because there's a lot of free product with those enrollment packs, but you get one chance when you open your account to access those. So I just want to make that point, but talk to the person that invited you. Lots of different ways of earning income, 8 different ways. The income is paid weekly, bonuses are paid monthly, but every single week we get paid. And in fact, it's the first time since I began my career that I've been paid weekly. Everything else I've ever done in my life, it was monthly. So I really appreciate the fact that, especially in these times, that their income comes in every single week. Thanks, Stevie. Let's go do a little bit of training. The business is simple, something anyone can do. It's quick start training, basic training, leadership training. We have corporate events. We have weekly webinars such as this. We also do training webinars. So everyone starts as an associate, and then you journey your way up the mountain. And nobody's going to force you up the mountain. Really, it's to look at those different ranks. Let me share with you some income levels in Australian dollars. So as you look up the mountain there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th level into the executive ranks, bronze executive. In Australia, you would expect to make, if you're the bronze executive level in the EMP, Executive Momentum Pool, somewhere between $2,500 to $3,000 per month. And then as you journey up the mountain to the platinum executive level, 3 levels, 1, 2, 3 levels above that, you would expect to earn somewhere around $12,000, $14,000 per month with the executive momentum pool. And then it goes on from there until about 2 years ago, the top rank with the company was actually triple diamond. And then there was a lot of people around the world that were getting to that level. So they added 6 ranks above that, 3 ambassador ranks, and then 3 presidential ranks. We have one person only who's at the very top rank, a lady from America, Trish Schwenkler, who actually did this presentation this time last week. She's a presidential triple diamond. She's the only one in the world that's at that level, and the #1 income earner with the company at the moment. Thank you, Stevie. So when you open your account, you get your own virtual office. It's got all the statistics, all the vital signs of your business. Very easy to navigate. I'm not the highest technical minded person, but very, very easy back office to navigate, and gives a lot of information about your business and what's happening in your business, the vital signs and the growth in your business. I like going into the back office and I can see the new enrollments, and I can actually click on and see all the different countries where people are coming in from. I love to do that, see around the world, all the different people from all the different countries that come into the business. Thank you, Stevie. So ASEA will become one of the biggest companies within the health, wellness, and anti-aging industries of all time. As I mentioned, we had Trish on a webinar last week, and Trish made a comment that she could see this company ultimately becoming a $100 billion company, and I can too. This is a very unique technology, a very unique company, a very unique opportunity, and how long that will take, we don't know. It might take another 10, 15, 20 years, but very significant opportunity for every one of us on this call. Thank you, Stevie. Let's go on to the next slide. Thank you. So you're looking to identify and refer people who want to make some changes. Now, this is from a business point of view. When I'm looking for people, I look for people who are entrepreneurial. I look for people who are ambitious. I look for people who want to change something in their life. So somebody who's completely happy with what they're doing, that's fine if they're happy. I'm not going to try and change their mind. I'm not there to do that. But what I do look for is people that want to make a difference, want to make some changes. Many of us, I think, are looking for an exit strategy. Many of us want to change our lifestyle. I came to this, I won't go into all my details, but I came to this 4 years ago where I really needed to make some changes quickly. And I really wanted to create a legacy for my children. I really wanted to leave something of substance behind for my children. And so there's lots of different reasons why you might be looking at this to change something financially in your lifestyle. And I can tell you that if you build this properly within a relatively short period of time, and I'm talking about 9 months to 2 years in there, you can make a very significant change to your financial future. Thank you, Stevie. So just remember, when you build a business like this, that whilst, when most people get started, they're very excited about the opportunity. It is a bit of an emotional roller coaster. Some people kind of see it, some people understand it straight away, and some people jump on with you straight away, and some people will maybe not. And that's fine. Just build a business like this emotionally neutral. If somebody gets on board and starts, it's terrific. And if its timing's not right, that's fine. I don't go and slash my wrists over it. So if the timing's not right, that's no problem. We're just looking for people whose timing is right now, but just build it emotionally neutral. Build it just in the middle there. Avoid the mountaintops and the valleys, and don't go on the emotional roller coaster when you build something like this. Thanks, Stevie. So the three groups of people when we take to the market: red apples, green apples, and rotten apples. Doesn't mean to say they're rotten people. They're just not looking. Red apples, you'll know them as soon as you see them. I kind of spot a red apple pretty much straight away. They kind of say to me, Mel, I don't really care what you're doing. I'm all over this. I get it. I understand the significance of technology. I'm ready. I'm looking. I need to build something quickly, and they jump on board straight away. So they're the red apples. The green apples have got some questions. And that's fine, no problem. We've got a lot of information to help people to get them to a point where they're comfortable to make their decision. And then the last one, the rotten apples, they're just really not in the looking zone, and that's fine as well. So their knows this is not for them right now. It might be down the track, but not right now. No problems at all. That's fine. Again, we don't pester those people. And when you go to the market, this is kind of what you're going to see. When you talk to people, you're going to get red apples, green apples, and then people just aren't looking. That's normal. Please don't think it's any different from me because I've been involved in the business a few years and I have some experience building a business. It's still the same. I still make the calls. I still have people say thanks, but no thanks. I still have people that are not in the looking zone. And look, when I build a business like this, I'm very simple about the way I think about this. If somebody's not looking for, if they're not looking for me, I'm not looking for them. If it's not a good time for them, I'm not going to try and force them into. I'm looking for somebody whose time is right now. So I just sift and sort the numbers until I find the people that are ready to go right now, and then I work and coach and help those people to get started. Thanks, Stevie. We're just about done, everyone. I think I might have been gone over a little bit. So the idea is to find these red apples. And just go on to the next few slides for me, Stevie. So red apples will find red apples. You know, it's a law of attraction. Red apples tend to attract red apples. Leaders find leaders. Monkeys produce monkeys. You just go on to the next few slides and we'll just finalize this. So that's what you want your organization to look like. You know, leaders on leaders on leaders. Now, it takes a process to do that, but it begins with you. You know, you've got to find who you want to attract, who you are. So what we find is the people that are excited, they're visionaries, they're entrepreneurs, motivated, keen, excited about this, and they're the kind of people that they will tend to attract. So your organization will be a mirror, will be a reflection of who you are. But this is what you want to see, you know, red apples on red apples on red apples. Again, there's a process to that. I know everybody on the call wants that to happen by the end of May, but there is a process to that. That process is somewhere between 9 months and 2 years. I mean, I've been at this 4 years, and I'm still looking for red apples. I can tell you I've got a lot of red apples, but I'm still looking for red apples. So it is a process to be able to find these, you know, great leaders. Thanks, Stevie. So here we go. Call the person who invited you, and join us in the business. The earlier you do it, the better your position will be. I'm very, very grateful that, you know, I began my journey with this company 4 years ago. But there is no time like the present. I said in a webinar earlier on today, I think that in the next little while, 3 months to 3 years, we're going to see the biggest increase in the numbers into this industry globally. There's a lot of people, I think, are going to be tested as a result of, you know, post the COVID situation. I think the damage, I won't go down that track, but I think there's going to be more people than ever going to be forced into the looking zone. We have an answer for them. We have an opportunity for them. Unique technology, incredible people that own this company and run it. Just the most incredible gift that I've ever seen. I won't see this again in my lifetime. You know, if you're on the call and you're 20, you might, but you might have to wait another 45 years to find another ASEA that'll come along your way and give you the opportunity to be able to change your life as well. So that's me done. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Stevie, for hosting this again. Really appreciate you and taking the time. And maybe a young lad's finished on his Xbox now, and you can go and have dinner with him and take him away from his Xbox. So thank you very much, everyone, and good evening. Thank you for sharing the time with me this evening. Hope it helped.
Thank you. It did help. Thank you very much, Swordmaster. You're amazing. We really appreciate you. And everybody else, have a good night. Be safe and extra secure and well. Bye for now.